to end YSTV Live. There's some ranking going on in the studio with the crew from Untitled.mov. And we also take a look at Corey's new phone.
We're on.
Hello.
Hello.
Say who you are.
I'm Corey.
And I am PA. Hello, welcome to Untitled.mov. How do you use on time? How do I go next? We've done that one. We've done that. Oh, this is we've just played that.
We're on welcome.
Hang on, we're on welcome.
Right.
Okay. So welcome to the show. This is Untitled.mov.
Good morning.
Untitled?
I know it's.
What's the title?
What's the time, Mr. Wolf? So, hello, I'm Jamie. We're joined by
Dan.
Dan. You're
I'm
with us
Dan.
this week.
Hi.
So,
Hi, Dan.
Hi, Corey.
okay.
Hi, Dan.
On time is now up to date. I am the PA.
Right, we know what we're doing.
Context,
Jamie P.A. Carice.
For context, this entire episode, we finally actually decided to plan it after last week. And so I made it all, and then I realised we're entirely dependent on a PA, which we don't have because it's Untitled. So, I'm going to PA, and that actually makes it easier because I can see what's next then. So we're going to do that. Off you go with the show.
Off I go with the show. Well, first up, we have Codec of the Week.
Yes.
Pass that back to you because you wrote this.
Yes. So if we can have the title... Oh, sorry, the TV still, please. Today, it's Google's VP9. Now, the reason I've chosen VP9 as this week's codec is obviously, as I mentioned, I think last week, I use Jellyfin.
Yes.
You use Jellyfin.
I use Jellyfin.
Dan, do you use Jellyfin?
No.
No, Dan doesn't use Jellyfin.
I don't have a media server.
But,
I don't need one.
I have a bit of a dodgy internet connection. I say dodgy, it's much better than any other connection I've ever had. It's like 200 up, 200 down. But for some reason, streaming's hard. I don't have any cache servers. So what's nice about VP9 is it's low bit rate, but for the same video quality.
Yeah.
So it's really nice. You can have, say you've got something in, I don't know, foreshadowing MPEG 2. If you are watching that on Jellyfin, it may be 6 megabits a second. And that would be less than ideal. That would saturate your connection. But if it was VP9, it'd probably be more like 1.5. It's such a significant decrease. It's actually insane.
Because I know still the same video quality.
Yes. So it still shows the same video quality.
That's pretty nice.
It's either a larger. Well, it's not larger than MPEG 2. Well, I get onto that in the next segment.
Obviously, it's compression, so it's all a bit.
Yeah, it's
wishy-washy on
so
quality,
it's not actually compressed. Well, it is obviously compressed, but it's not a smaller file. So compared to stuff like H.264, it can sometimes be larger, it can sometimes be smaller. It's not for reducing disk size. It is purely for lower bit rate. So the data's all there, it just doesn't stream as much of it out, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
So it's very handy for stuff like media servers where you've got loads of storage, but you want to send out a low bitrate stream and still have good quality.
I believe VP9 is what YouTube tries to prefer on most browsers, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Google moment. And it's open source. So this is also open source project of the week.
I think the only reason I was aware of VP9 before you started raving about it was because I had to install an extension on Firefox on Linux to stop YouTube streaming VP9 and make it stream H.264 because Firefox just doesn't like streaming VP9 sometimes.
Classic. Yeah, I mean, I really like it for my Jellyfin. It is exclusively what I try to transcode everything in. Sometimes I do H.264, but it is when I can, most of it is VP9, which is a shame because the only device I own, context, I own a desktop PC and this laptop and a server. And out of all those devices, the only thing that can hardware transcode using QuickSync VP9 is this bloody Surface that I don't like. So that's not ideal.
That's the thing with me. I don't have anything that can do like VP9 natively on QuickSync, right? Or maybe I would consider it. Most of my stuff, because my main bottleneck is storage space when it comes to
You see,
media.
that's where H.265 or H.264 come in handy.
H.265 is better for storage space than 264 is. But it's not as supported on as many like clients and stuff
No, it's
as
not.
264. So, but luckily the QuickSync on my media server CPU is good enough to do at least 1 or 2 transcodes at 1080p.
Yeah, so you've kind of gone with
H.265 to 4, so I'm happy to keep
You've
265
kind of gone for
and then
the
transcode on.
low disk rate and actively transcode because you've set it up to QuickSync. Mine can also handle 2 streams. It's just I've decided to go for the direct stream method. So we've got 2 different ways of doing it, and both are valid ways.
I won't
both
lie.
work for us.
I do make an active attempt to use the like native apps for Jellyfin on most things I
Yes,
can because they support
native apps
265.
support so much.
But you are hell bent on only using the web app.
I'm just lazy, but
So mostly my entire thing is just for you.
yeah, I'm very lazy. I like to use the web app, which in fairness does support VP9. But as you say, stuff like the H.265, H.264, whatever, is a bit iffy.
Yeah, well,
But,
H.264 is fine.
Well, yeah, that's true. H.264, well, certain things, but yeah.
Yeah.
But
Do we want to move on?
next up, on the topic of Google VP9, if we want to move to the next slide, we've had a bit of a discussion recently.
Yeah.
Because obviously we like to, obviously everything in our Jellyfin servers is legally owned apart from our Linux ISOs. And
No, every Linux ISO is illegally owned. That's how Linux ISOs work.
sorry.
Doesn't matter.
Anyway,
I stumbled over every word of that.
so
sentence.
we rip DVDs to our Jellyfin servers, and DVDs are encoded in MPEG-2. MPEG-2 is one of the worst video codecs I've ever had the misfortune of dealing with.
It was great at the time.
It was
especially
fine.
because I was sat here transcoding something from 264 back to MPEG-2. Long story. And
That's a little sneak peek. For
little sneak peek for the future.
We're not going to go further.
I do own the content. Don't worry. That does sound like I'm
That does
burning
sound
pirated
dodgy.
DVDs. I'm not burning pirated
It's related
DVDs.
to Untitled, and we will not extend further than that.
But yeah, I took probably a 360p episode of Untitled, right? It was about 60 megabytes,
Yeah.
H.264. Transcoded that same episode, same with 360p to
MPEG-2.
MPEG-2,
Yeah.
about 10 times the size. It was about 600
It
megabytes.
is so bad. And do you know, the only good thing I can think about it is that all of my devices can hardware decode it.
Oh yeah, because it's been around for donkeys.
Because it's donkeys. Do you know the funny thing? The NVENC, NVIDIA's proprietary... actually, is it proprietary? I don't know.
believe it's
Probably. But NVIDIA's hardware encoding protocol, NVENC, can't actually encode MPEG-2. Because it's so old, they've gone, no one wants to decode it.
Yeah. Sorry, can we get that announcement off of
Sorry,
the on
that's
time
me.
so we can actually see?
Yeah, that's me, my bad.
Oh, left, thank you.
Yeah, NVENC, it can't actually encode MPEG-2. QuickSync can on all my devices.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's so old that NVIDIA's gone, no one wants to encode that anymore, so they don't have hardware encoding for it.
See, that's the thing I like about QuickSync, because it doesn't seem to drop support for anything.
Yes, I spent a long time looking at Wikipedia of the graphs of what was supported on what generation, and NVIDIA is very much cutting things they don't need, whereas QuickSync was just kind of, it slowly got greener and greener, and it's quite cool. I'm really...
I love QuickSync. It's making me kind of want an NVIDIA GPU, not an NVIDIA,
Yeah,
an Intel
an
GPU
Intel
now.
GPU.
Just
Also,
for QuickSync on a GPU.
This is really weird, because I remember in the first and second series of this show, Untitled, I called Milling a nerd for caring this much about codecs, and I've come full circle.
Oh, no.
We've just spent 10 minutes
both
talking
nerds.
about codecs.
I'm becoming Welsh.
Anyway, let's move on. Oh, no.
Move on.
Chaps in the gallery, is it at all possible to reload the on-time config? Because it's out of date by about an hour. As in, I've updated it in the last hour and it's not here.
Does someone want to load up Bowser
We're
on? Do you want to load up Bowser on your other laptop?
I do. I have Bowser loaded, so it can still go. I'll just have.
Oh,
to
they're
tell you.
reloading it. They're reloading
Oh,
it.
there's some reloading happening.
Oh, 159.
Oh, perfect. Thank you, gallery. So yeah,
you.
we've already complained. Let's go next.
Yeah.
The news.
The news.
The news.
Good news.
Yes. Next
The
slide.
Apple car.
What?
Been delayed.
Oh no! We did
Oh,
discuss
no.
that last week, though. Sorry, Corey. Anyway, first up, speaking of Apple, we got a sneak peek of it there. Let's go back to that slide. Google, not Google, sorry, Apple.
Jamie, the clock's not running.
The clock's not running. It is running.
now.
Oh, now it is.
Shush. Good. No, not good. Well, is it good? Maybe good news. I don't care because I don't have an Apple device. But Apple have are attempting to maybe license Google Gemini.
Yeah, this felt weird.
So I have an official thing I'd like to read quickly, just because I would like to make this very apparent now. This is all speculative, because I'm going to bring it up now in Vim Classic. The official news title that I got from Yahoo Finance was Bloomberg News has
Text
said
is too big.
that Apple is in talks to let Google Gemini's power iPhone AI features. So it is Bloomberg News has said Apple, Google, no one has confirmed any of this.
This felt weird to me because obviously what we know about Apple. Yeah, thank you guys. We're trying to do a show.
I've gathered that now. They're teaching me how to use on time as we go.
What was I going to say? Yeah, this felt weird to me because like Apple's very much a in-house.
They like to keep everything.
Yeah.
It's
They like
like
to
with the best example is the recent switch from Intel chips to their own silicon.
Yeah, exactly.
So they like to keep everything in-house. But what that says to me is Apple doesn't have good enough AI.
Or Apple doesn't want to.
Or they don't want to invest
I don't think.
AI.
I think Apple see this as the fad it is. Don't want to put resources towards it, but want the marketing boost of having it on their platform.
So this was reported this Monday. So I would say we're late to it, but it's the first Untitled since then. And just quickly, terms or branding of an AI agreement or how it would be implemented have not yet been decided. So
Yeah.
this is all
It's very much in the
speculative.
developing
Very early.
It is unlikely that any deal would be announced until June, when Apple plans to hold its annual conference of developers. So we're not going to know anything for a long time.
Yeah.
Another.
Speaking of Apple,
Well, hang on, just quickly. Another thing to mention is that Apple also recently held talks with OpenAI. So, about using their model, according to the report from Bloomberg. So, this is once again, Apple, Google, OpenAI did not respond to any requests for comment. They're all, this is all speculative. But there may be AI coming to Apple, and it may come from Google or OpenAI. It's looking more like Google. But yeah, sorry, you were saying.
I'm saying, speaking of Apple, Apple has also been in news because they've recently had a lawsuit in the US, haven't they?
Yes. So the U.S. federal government, the United States government has accused the tech giant of monopolizing the smartphone market. The source where I'm getting this information from is BBC News.
BBC News.
The US has filed a landmark lawsuit against Apple, which accuses the tech giant of monopolizing the smartphone market and crushing any competition.
Do we have another?
We do. Could we switch to the...
Yeah, every one of them has a. Yeah.
Yeah, there we are.
That's not the right one.
That's not the right one. No.
No.
We're spoiling the news. No.
No, that's back to what we were before.
I'm trying to think. Maybe I forgot to put one. It is.
Okay.
No, I did put one. It's a WebP image, which vMix might not support. Okay, leave it on this screen. That'll do. I had a codec moment. I probably should have transcoded an image, but oh well.
Codex.
Yeah, speaking of codecs, whoops, keep an eye on them. Anyway, in the lawsuit, the Justice Department of the United States alleges that the company used its control of the iPhone to illegally limit competitors and consumers' options, which obviously we've recently heard from the EU.
Yeah.
The EU fined Apple last month. It was 1.8 billion euros, which is 1.5 billion pounds, for breaking competition laws over music streaming. So Apple, it's not new to us that they're crushing competition.
Yeah.
Although you'll never guess what Apple said.
What's Apple said?
Apple have said, we completely agree. No, I'm kidding. They vowed to vigorously fight the lawsuit and deny the claim. So Apple's being Apple.
Apple. It's not an apples to apples comparison.
Hang on. Everyone get your phones out.
Sorry, mine's sort of.
This is not an iPhone.
This is not.
That's not an iPhone. That's not an iPhone, so I don't care. Anyway.
Not a folding phone. Ooh.
Also, just quickly, this is the third time Apple has been sued by the Justice Department since 2009. And yeah, it is the first challenge against the company under President Joe Biden. So every president's had a go. Apple's just really annoying. I'm fed up of talking about Apple now. I'm not going to lie.
So the NHS.
Yes. So actually, this is some pleasant news. We've been a bit down in the dumps with the last couple of news. This is some really heartwarming news, actually. Yeah, this one's the robot one, which we've already spoiled, but that's funny. Yeah, there we are. So this is an AI-related story. So
this isn't a real photo, by the way.
Yeah, this is not how it's done. But the nice thing is, NHS AI test. So they've run a clinical trial, as it were. It spots tiny cancers missed by doctors. So this is used for signs of breast cancer in 11 women out of 10,000. These 11 women were missed by human doctors. They'd all been checked by human doctors. This is mammograms, by the way. All missed by human doctors, these 11.
Sorry, I was just imagining, when you see like Boston Dynamics, the dog robot.
Yeah.
Imagine one of those.
Yeah. Anyway. So yeah, they're in mammograms, and yeah, 11 women had cancer, but weren't caught by human doctors, were caught by AI. It does say here, I'm immediately going to go back on what I just said, but most of them were cancer-free, of the 10,000 people, I should say.
Yeah.
But it successfully flagged all people with symptoms, as well as the extra 11. So all people that the human doctors found, and then an extra 11 people the human doctors did not identify.
Did those people end up being?
Obviously, it's a bit difficult to confirm because the human doctors didn't. But there was one case where a woman had a 6mm tumor that was not detected by doctors. But was detected by the AI. And the thing is with breast cancer is tumors that are smaller than 15mm have a 90% survival rate. And human doctors tend to get around that. So they just get them on the cusp of survival. So this AI, I'm pleasantly...
Yeah,
I'm just happy that something good is coming out of it.
This is what I keep saying about this is what they should be focusing on.
Yeah. It's about time.
Well, this research into medical use for detecting things like cancers has been going on quite a while.
Yeah.
It's just, it obviously takes a while before it can actually be used in medical diagnosis.
Yes, so obviously they have really long clinical trials.
I'm just mad at all of the advertising, all the news stories, all of the money is all in, hey, look at this chatbot that's marginally better than the last chatbot.
Yeah,
because AI is
curing fucking cancer.
Yeah, because AI is a bit of a black box. You put stuff in and stuff comes out and you don't really know how it gets that output. And so when you're doing it for safety critical stuff like medical stuff,
you've got to be sure.
Yeah, you've got to be sure. So
I mean, any AI used by the NHS is still covered by human doctor. It's there essentially as a tool. Let's make sure this human doctor doesn't fuck up. So it's great that they're using that way.
Well,
and
I mean, humans always make mistakes, and it's always good to have like a secondary layer.
It's essentially like having a second doctor double check.
Yeah,
which is a good use of it, and I'm happy to hear good news. Just quickly, this tool is called Mia, that's been piloted alongside the NHS. And one important thing is it's been quite difficult because of patient confidentiality and privacy concerns for them to do this widespread.
Yeah.
So there's some road bumps to get over, but it's just nice to hear some good.
There's always ethical issues with AI.
Yeah,
I do wonder if this AI is in any way related down the chain to that one AI that was made to tell two different types of pastries from each other and then ended up spotting cancer.
I did hear about that. Maybe
this was like years ago, and I just wonder if this is like the same chain of research or if this is something completely different.
Yeah. Well. Anyway. Let's move on.
Yeah.
Have you got any news for us?
Yeah, a UK startup is beaming 4K from space.
They are indeed. This, once again, source is the BBC News, as was the last article. I just had a flick through earlier, I'm not going to lie. But
who reads BBC News?
Yeah, a UK company called SEN.com has said that they will fly, well, is the word fly? They will rocket.
Launch.
They'll essentially hitch a ride on the next ride up into the International Space Station with some 4K cameras. They're planning to put 3 4K cameras on the International Space Station, which is very funny because it's being decommissioned in the next decade. But.
All I'm going to say, I have the best idea for an Untitled special.
Untitled from space.
I have the best idea for an episode of Untitled ever.
Yeah, I mean,
please let us. Please.
They've already been broadcasting from in 4K from space since 2022. So 2 years ago. From a small satellite.
Untitled in 4K and Untitled. Do you reckon if we asked them really nicely?
Yeah, do you reckon they would? Maybe
they do like a student outreach program.
It says they're a small startup company, so you never know. We could ask them.
Let's drop them a message. Cameron, our producer, please drop them a message. See
so
space. I want to go to space.
They say their plan is to stream 4K video from the ISS, jumping between the 3 cameras they're going to mount outside. The plan.
We have to go outside to do it. I'm just imagining Untitled in space.
Hello,
but still with the YSTV branded mic.
Yeah, but the plan. The plan is for in May, actually, so fairly recently, fairly soon, in 2 months' time, the crane outside is going to put these cameras outside remotely, which is kind of cool. They're just going to throw them in a, airlock, and then the crane is going to grab them out. And it's going to be more or less continuously, which is kind of cool.
That's pretty cool.
So you can always just, it's like the, what's the Boris Bops thing? What was that called? It's like a lo-fi beat stream.
Boris.
Have you not seen the Boris beats?
I've seen
Lo-fi Boris beats.
Oh, lo-fi Boris beats.
Yeah, okay. Anyway,
why is that the first thing you think of?
Conservatives any more screen time. Obviously they're not doing this for the good of their heart. They plan to monetize these products, working, for example, with film and TV companies on documentaries. Where they get instead of a drone shot, it's a fucking space station shot. So that's.
Yo, new items.
Yeah. So that's 4K from space. So they're doing better than Wise TV, and we're on the fucking ground.
Do you know what the latency is like on that?
Do you know? I don't. It doesn't say. They're using the current relay system they have, and I believe the current relay, from watching interviews where schools interview astronauts in space, it looks to be about 5 seconds. So, but with 4K, they may have to limit it more. So.
Yeah.
It might be an RTMP, it might be less delay than some of our RTMP streams, I'm not going to lie.
I'm just imagining an RTMP feed from space.
It's rtmp.nasa.gov.
Can we just use bot to send audio from the ISS?
Oh my goodness. Yeah, broadcast using this tool. That would be incredibly funny. Anyway, should we talk about what's happened in the last week?
Sure. Debate night.
We had debate night. Dan, you were at debate night.
I was indeed.
Corey, you actually chaired a debate.
I chaired the Union Affairs Officer debate.
That
wasn't the original plan. I woke up incredibly hungover on Saturday morning after being out the night before to a message from I say Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon. It was 1 p.m. to a message from an hour ago from Ali going, "Hey, would you be able to chair one of the debates for debate night? We've had a bunch of people calling sick," and I'm just like, "Yeah, I should be fine for that." Which one? Union Affairs Officer.
Yeah, I mean, I sound opped, and we had quite a few mics. I think we had 8 used in total in the end, as well as Green Room plus 3. Mm-hmm. And I had more monitors than most lighting ops. Yeah. So for the people that don't know lighting ops, just look up lighting ops in venues. They usually have about 3 screens for touch things. I had my laptop with OnTime. I had obviously the screen on the X32. I had a monitor with the multi-view. I then had a laptop and a second monitor on my left with X32 Edit on that I was doing things on. I had so many screens. I actually have an image of it that I really wish I'd put up on screen.
It's on the Twitter.
It is. Yes, that is a good point. Follow YSTV Tech on Twitter. You'll be able to see the photo there. But yes. Speaking of a debate you chaired, a figure we know. A figure we know actually appeared in that.
Yeah.
Should we take a look at that? Let's go to that VT now.
Let's have a look.
I'm going to ask each candidate to introduce themselves with the name and the pronouns, and then I will cover the ground rules of the debate. You're first.
My name's Jamie Parker East, and my pronouns are boss/man.
What is the union's role in addressing the cost of living crisis?
Well, I've spoken about this in my manifesto, but it's not just us that are struggling. Okay, Charlie Jeffrey, he's being hit by it as well. I said in my CIN interview on the radio that Waitrose, they're raising their prices as well. So we need to really fund this second ensuite of his. It's very important. We need to give him the money. He doesn't have it, and it's very important he has that ensuite. So that's what we can do about supporting the cost of living, is get him that second ensuite.
How can you feel that the union's governance can be more transparent?
Installing more windows. I think the walls are quite opaque, and getting more windows makes it a lot more transparent. Open plan is another way, because then you can see right across the office. And another way is, just essentially getting more light in there as well, because the more light you've got going through that glass, the more you can see in from outside. And I would describe that as more transparent. But I believe that's very important. More glass in U2. We can see what's going on. Just like that meeting room.
As Union Affairs Officer, you will lead on a variety of committees. How do you foster a collaborative decision-making environment?
Well, that's very easy, actually. It's just, I go in and say, hey, I'm in charge. And, if you're saying something stupid, I'm going to tell you to shut up. Right? And that way, we can actually have a collaborative conversation. Everyone will be right. There'll be no stupid ideas. And it'll get done a lot quicker. And I think that's quite efficient and very important.
If there were to be further industrial action during your term, how would you respond to it?
Well, quite honestly, I say we just march down to where people are striking, give them the old slap round the face, go, what the fuck are you doing? Just get back. What the fuck? No one wants you to earn more money. That's stupid. So, yeah, we go do that and, maybe go slap Charlie Jeffrey too, just for good luck. That I reckon that's probably our strongest response.
With the new team now all being officers, how will you ensure you lead the union whilst also ensuring that students understand that all officers have the same amount of power and influence?
I'm not running for an officership. I am running for USU president. I will be the team leader. I'll be in charge. So I don't know what all the spreading power shit is, right? I'm going to be USU president. I'm going to make sure my team is strong, with me at the lead, in the charge for getting these things we need, all the things in my manifesto. It's very important. But none of this officership. That's fucking bollocks. I'm the president.
Next up, we will now hear the candidates' 30-second closing statements. Again, if you run over, I will have to cut you off.
My closing statement is, the university can be a bit shit sometimes, and I want to make it less shit. So the important things are building that fucking wall in Derwent. Bloody hell, fuck off Derwent, right? And we also, Charlie Jeffrey's second toilet needs it. Fucking Arch, bro, need that. That's very important. Essentially, what I'm saying is vote me if you want USU to have a president again. We're going to make this university great again. Fuck Derwent. That bit, that I cannot express that bit. It's very important. And vote me. It is.
Hello.
Hello.
So what else has happened in the last week?
In the last week, do you know what YSTV got? YSTV purchased some capture cards.
Yeah, I've got one of them.
Yeah, you've actually got one that's going to be in use in the next section.
In use soon.
So Dan, would you like to show that to the camera? I'm glad you picked the YSTV one, because this one's my personal one. It's got an asset label, it's YSTV's. So, yeah, we used to have two. One of them wasn't actually ours, but now they got lost. So now we have a load more of them. They're probably decent. I mean, I tested them. They worked at 1080p 50. So cool, they work. No one cares. Next.
Viz Untitled.org you've got written.
Yes, I did write that.
We vizzed
Untitled. This week on Untitled.org. Damn, we vizzed it, didn't we?
We did indeed. Untitled.org is the radio equivalent of this show.
Yes.
And we did a video version.
And I was on it for the first time.
Yes, you were actually. Good point.
I've never actually been on Untitled.org before.
Yeah, it was meant to be auto-vizzed, but we had a Python audio moment and it didn't detect the audio input, so that's great.
Had a Linux audio moment.
And yeah, it mixes entirely based on audio.
Yeah,
so.
It mixes entirely based on audio. So all it could do was, when we played music, switch us to holding card. I actually had to manually vision mix, which is kind of pointless. So anyway, that was just not ideal, but who knows? Maybe I'll be able to fix it another day after a restart. But Corey, we've been teasing for a while now.
Yes.
That you're going to give us a final review of kind of how daily driving your new Google Pixel 8.
I have got.
As your new daily
finally got around to getting a Google Pixel 8.
Yeah. So you moved on from a Samsung
Z Fold 3.
Yep.
It was a Fold 3 I had, and it has been a bit of an adjustment not having a Fold.
Yes,
that has been the one
as I
thing
can imagine it would be.
I'm so used to opening a YouTube video and going, "Oh, vroom,"
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, try not to snap your phone open or something.
Well, I find myself going, oh. Like, but do you know what? I didn't realize this until the other day when pretty much yesterday, when an alarm went off because I turned on my Pixel, my Fold for something. I can't remember what it was. I think it was to get a file off it or something. Forgot to turn it back off. An alarm went off on my Pixel, on my Fold, so I had to pick it up. I did not realize how heavy that phone was until I've been driving a normal-sized phone.
Do you know the funny thing? I had the exact same thing. I was using this phone, and obviously we did Tag Across York, which I forgot to edit the VT for. Oh, well, we'll play that after Easter. But I used my old phone as a second recording phone. And what I realized is this phone is so much heavier than my last phone. Phones are just heavy. Yeah, feel that. Is it heavier than yours? Give us yours.
Mine's not really a good gauge at the moment because it's got
but I mean, you're
shite hanging
far
out.
off that one. Mine,
Yeah,
this is,
well, I mean that's a Pixel 8 over there. So I mean that's not a Pixel 8, a Pixel 7.
This is a
over there.
Pixel
yeah,
7.
This is
so
a OnePlus 7.
Is that the Pro or the normal?
just the normal one.
Oh, just the normal.
But
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure they
mine-
released the Pixel 7a as well.
Yeah, the A's like their budget.
Is it?
Yeah.
They released it after this one, so they do like a 7, then a 7a, and then they went on to the 8, I think.
Well, they might just.
They just keep releasing new phones for the sake of releasing new phones.
Yeah.
Like, there's not actually that much improvement between the generations.
No,
It's all
not
done
really.
in software these days.
Oh yeah, I mean Google especially is entirely sort of software on what they.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, do you want to tell us? So you've written a list of things you want to discuss about your phone.
Well, I've wrote bits and pieces, of sort of general feelings, and I've got we had a couple of things we thought were fun or cool that we were going to show off.
Yeah.
Later, which is why I've got the capture card in.
Yeah, we've
my
got
phone.
some spicy setup.
But one thing, speaking of software, one thing I've liked about the Pixel is it just works.
Yeah.
Like, it's the most... I was saying this to Dan on the way back from Cecil's the other day. It is just the most phone I think I've ever had.
Yeah. You see, I recently had a problem with my OnePlus where the launcher just decided it didn't want to play ball anymore, and I couldn't get out of apps.
Oh.
I know, it was very fun. If I opened, for example, Firefox, I could no longer get out of Firefox. I had to uninstall the launcher and reinstall.
Which is weird, because I've heard, like, stories of, like, glitchy software on Pixels, right? But, like, in my, like, I think 3 weeks I've had with this now, I haven't really encountered any issues. The closest thing I had to an issue with the software on the Pixel was in the Glass House.
Yeah.
That's because of the out-of-spec QR code.
Yeah, so do you want to explain that quickly? When you scanned a QR code in Glasshouse, it zoomed in instead of...
Yeah, it would just zoom in my camera, but still would stay in the scan QR code. But if I move out, it would then zoom in again. I could get it like super zoomed in.
To clarify, just to give Google the benefit of the doubt here, Glasshouse's QR codes are out of spec. My phone cannot scan them because they're not... They don't have enough
Mine doesn't
contrast.
work either.
Yeah, no, Dan's phone can't scan them. It is just Glasshouse, fix your shit.
We just have a link to Glasshouse's store kit saved in the computing channel in YSDB just so we can get to it.
If you get the menu and turn it over and look at the drinks menu, there's a normal QR code, which is
also helpful.
Untitled top tip of the week.
Yeah, sorry. Keep going because I'll keep going because we don't have much time. But
Yeah.
I want to. It's. I forgot what I was going to say now. I think it comes from sort of Android being very much a Google development put.
Yeah,
and it's being a Google phone.
You don't
all
have
being
to deal,
full stack.
Yeah, you don't have to deal with like different. I mean, we had this discussion yesterday. You don't have to deal with, say, OnePlus adding their own sprinkle to Android. You've just got it straight from Google.
This wasn't yesterday. This was on Sunday. We had this conversation.
It was, yeah. We'll come back from Tag Across York.
But this was a thing I've been vocal about disliking on Samsung phones is Samsung's general UI that they bolt on top of Android. Just from a design perspective, I don't like it. It does suck, and it feels really clunky.
So, I mean,
Google's just feels like
default Android is just not that bad. It's quite usable, and that's basically what Pixels are.
Pixels are pretty much sort of default Android with a lot of Google bells and whistles put on top of them.
Which doesn't cost that much more because there were already Google bells and whistles built into a lot of Android.
Exactly.
So you don't actually lose. It's not a lot of bloat. It's the default amount of bloat you have on any Android device.
Yeah.
So
yeah, Samsung phones come with so much bloat, but my Google one is all the standard Google apps, and that's about it. It's like,
but every
not really
Android phone comes with that anyway. So it's not like additional bloatware. It's just what you had before minus anyone else's.
Yeah.
Speaking of, I've also got. We're definitely going to go over time on this, but that's fine. I also got the Google Pixel Buds A came with my phone, the A series. These are really nice as well. It's my first pair of like properly like true wireless earbuds I've had in a long time.
Yeah.
I've probably worn them for a couple episodes. I used to have like the headphones that were like the wire around.
Yeah, the wireless ones where they connect both ears.
Yeah, which I used to like in case like because one would keep dropping out, and I was like, oh, if these are true wireless, that would have been down a drain. These are really good at sticking in my ear. I really like them. And the one issue I have with them is they don't wirelessly charge.
You see, we had this discussion again. We are just reiterating a lot of things we said, but we do believe them. I don't give a shit about wireless charging. I know you do. 'Cause you've
I
got
don't care about
I've
it
got
either.
like a three pad.
Yeah, you've got like a
wireless
3-pad
charging
thing
pad.
that's quite handy on your desk, but wireless charging I believe it's a fad. I think it's stupid. I mean, I understand if you've already got the kit, fair enough, but like I would never use
I think
it.
the closest
It's
thing I
slow
like
as
is,
well.
Yeah, it's inefficient.
Oh, it's very slow.
Yeah.
You're paying so much more electricity for it.
The closest thing I could like, the one I like the most, the look of is like sort of Apple's like MagSafe one where you can just go and it magnets on.
Yeah,
Charge,
that's
and
the
you go,
most
yeah, that's
efficient
good.
charging you're going to get, but I think it's a fad. A wire, I just feel more confident putting a wire in.
Something like this I prefer wireless on when it's just the earbuds. I can just place them
I'm
down.
still not that
When I get home, I don't need fast charging on these earbuds. I want to just put them down and forget about them. Walk away.
Yeah, I mean, I usually just throw a...
I don't want to use up a USB-C cable on them.
Unless, I mean, I have a USB-C cable at my desk, and it's a slow one because I've only put it on a 2-amp charger, not fast charging. And I just literally plug anything in there, slow charge it for a bit, and it's fine.
You've reminded me of another thing I really like about the Pixel in comparison to my Samsung.
Yeah?
The super fast charging isn't proprietary.
Yes, it's PD.
It's just USB-C.
It's USB-C
And
PD.
it's so nice. My laptop charger will
OnePlus, sort your shit out. Why is it proprietary? It's really fast, hyper-speed charging, but it's fucking proprietary. Anyway, that's by the by. Would you like to tell us, some features about the phone then that you like then?
Yeah, one thing I'll get on to what we were going to demonstrate. Why not? If we want to pull up if you want to pull out your phone and we want to pull up here's my phone home screen.
Yep.
Context.
So is this currently live?
This is currently live. We're going to demonstrate the call screening feature.
We are. So
Google
what
Pixels.
I'm going to do here, it's not going to show my number, is it?
No, I've got you saved as your name.
Okay, cool.
Do you want to put your phone up to your mic so we can hear what it comes through
Yes,
on your end?
that's probably wise. So I'm now going to call Corey and hopefully not dox myself.
See, so I get this screen call button.
Oh, hang on. Let me put you on speaker before you answer.
Good idea.
Yeah, screen
So I click screen call.
Person you've reached is using a screening service from Google and will get a recording and transcript of this call. Go ahead and say why you're calling.
Hello, I'm calling to demonstrate Google's screening feature on untitled.mov.
And then I get these buttons and I can just say,
Just so it's clear, go ahead and say more about why you're
oh,
calling.
we've lost.
There
There we go.
Just so... we've had an
Capture
NDI
card being
moment.
saucy.
Is that a capture card moment?
No, it's happening on here too.
Oh, yeah, that's the capture card. All of this is going through to screening. Whoops.
Oh yeah, so that's great.
Do you want to quickly unplug the HDMI and plug it back in?
On it.
The joys of a live demo.
Yeah, the issue we've got is that capture card is going to be getting
Okay.
very hot, and we're currently in front of studio lights.
So, okay,
Oh, yeah,
Do you
so
need to get a hold of them urgently?
preferably, yes, please.
Just to double check, who's this calling?
I'm calling Corey with a C.
that's the one thing I hate. It spells my name wrong. And then I can still choose the option to just,
Sorry, they can't take the call right now. Thanks, and goodbye.
or at any point I could
Yeah,
pick up.
so you can also pick up it. So it's just screening the call without you having... You can just be in bed and screen
One thing I
the-
found really fun
I
is
have this feature on my phone and it's so handy. If I get a call from a number I don't recognize, I screen the call, and if it's a spam call, they hang up instantly.
Yeah, this is not a spam call per se, but I switched from one network to a different one when I got my new phone, right? And obviously, the old network knows you're transferring because you request a pack code.
Yeah.
And they will just spam call you to try and get you to come back.
They will, won't they?
And
Yeah.
I love that I can recognize the number, click screen call, and they'll get like halfway through they use a screening call service called Google, and they'll just hang up.
Yeah,
and I know
exactly.
it's the phone network. I'm just like,
And if
Yeah.
people do need to get through to you, they'll say why they're calling.
Exactly.
And then you can just read it and go, okay, yeah, I'll answer that.
Or if they're desperate, maybe if they don't understand it, they'll drop you a text. But even then,
But it's just a handy feature.
I do it to Jamie because it's funny. And otherwise, it would be like if I'm like in a meeting or something, especially like if,
meetings it's handy because you get the transcript.
you get the
of what they're
transcript,
saying.
and I can just
Anyway,
Yeah.
you've got also the they've got some photo
yes.
features. That
We
you like.
were going to try and demonstrate the best take feature, which is where it takes like if someone's blinked in multiple photos, you'll be able to swap the faces on them. Only problem is, I realized after we took the photos, they had to be taken within 10 seconds of each other for it to work, and we took a little longer. So I was like, okay, now you close your eyes. Now you close. But I'm gonna try and see if I can demonstrate the magic eraser. So I took a couple photos.
So best take we unfortunately won't be able to model for you, but
So-
this is Corey's photos and magic eraser. We're gonna have a go at.
Yeah.
So what does magic eraser do?
Oh, it hasn't given me the option for Magic Eraser. What's this button? Magic Editor. Sure, let's try Magic Editor.
Oh, that'd be what it
I'm going to select the microphone.
Yeah. So this is going to attempt to erase that from the image. So let's see how it goes.
So it's figuring out what I tried to select.
It's giving it a sec. This is.
I think I was going to circle it, not.
Is this AI running locally on the phone then?
I can click erase. I think it's running locally. It might also be cloud-based. I don't quite remember.
I mean, it is Google, so it could be cloud-based. We'll give it a sec. And there you are.
And there we go.
It's done
And the microphone.
decently well.
It's got the shadows a little weird.
Yeah.
It's given me a couple options here, so that's what's leading me to think it's cloud-based. I can get a new set if it's weird. So I also
That's not bad, because that didn't look too bad. That's like a beginner Photoshop right there.
Yeah, I'm going to also. I took this photo of you, Jamie, beforehand. I'm going to see if I can remove you.
Yeah, go for it.
Let's see if I can. Magic Editor. This is my first time playing with it as well. Let's see. I'm going to circle Mr. Parker East here. Yeah, there we go. It's picked you up instantly.
That's pretty clever.
That's not bad.
And I'm going to click erase.
They probably trained it on a lot of people.
They probably did. I feel like that's going to be used for a lot of removing your ex from family photographs. Okay, it's got a little confused.
The shadows aren't great, but
It's like you're
It's
wearing a
got-
Your
green
shadow
screen.
is still there, but let's see if let's look at. Okay, that one.
where
Your
shadow-
shoes, the bottom of your shoes are still there.
where the shadows, like in photos where you can't see the shadow,
Oh my god,
it won't be too bad.
you look like Sturkey's ghost in this photo.
Yeah, do a bit. It's interesting that it's getting the background well, though.
Yeah, that is. That's what I thought with
The
truss.
truss as well, yeah.
Yeah, that's one thing I thought.
Speaker.
This is
Carries
what
on with the
this is
truss.
why I wanted to take photos in the studio because obviously there's a lot of like visual noise that is quite.
Yeah, it's done really well getting that truss back in.
I'm gonna try.
Just
Let's see if I don't want Dan's arm in the photo. Let's
Just
say
in
that.
the
one.
interest of time, we are going to have to cut this short soon. But yeah, we'll just let you try and get rid of Dan's arm and then say some final things about your pixel.
Yeah. Sorry, actually, I'm going to try something else because I think there's a way I can move things as well.
Yeah, I mean, there did seem to be an option.
I don't know what this plus does. I don't know. We'll figure it out later.
Yeah,
So,
anyway, well, we might come back to this another day if we feel like
Yeah,
it.
we've got the setup.
But
so I
yeah.
might come back and talk about things on the Pixel because I'm really.
But yeah, I mean, we
enjoying my
could
time
record a
with it.
VT if we want. But yeah, any other remarks about the Pixel that you like? Any other features that you found particularly?
I really like the sort of the skinning and the theming on the if you
Yeah,
look at
that
my
did
photos.
look nice. I'm not going to lie.
Because I'll also demonstrate actually, because I can demonstrate live. Because obviously it bases all of my icons and everything, all of my widgets. Oh, bless! I've just doxed my entire uni timetable. There we go. But
Oh no.
Oh no, anyway.
all my widgets off of my wallpaper. So let's say I change my wallpaper to say this one. Do it live,
Oh, that is quite nice.
and
It does
everything
change
just
the
follows.
theme.
Weird green.
That's a very green.
Is very green, but it also I have it set so it goes dark mode and light mode
The schedule.
on sunset sundown. So the icons and stuff follow that and will be
That's
inverted.
So
light
they've
icons.
basically made it very user friendly and
Very user friendly,
very just kind of.
Which is what I
it does
want
its
on a
own-
phone at this point. I just want a
Exactly.
phone that works.
You want it to just, you know, I
want
like
it to
I
do
like
the
a
thing.
laptop where I can do everything myself and really get. I mean, that's why I run Arch. But on
Yeah.
a phone, I don't actually care that much. I use it for watching YouTube and making calls.
One thing I do like about the that battery widget as well. Let's see if I can get it to work. If I take one earphone out,
Oh, that's quite cool. I know
it
Apple
just auto.
do. Apple do a similar thing.
Apple do a similar thing. I just love that I like that it gives me the case to left and right. One thing that's an issue with it is when I don't have one of them in the case, it can't tell what the case's battery is.
My OnePlus earbuds have the same thing. There's no wireless connectivity in the case.
Yeah, but it can tell the battery of the case when one of them's in it. So
I think that's fairly common in like non-Apple products like that. So.
Even then, I like that it still shows me that when it can tell.
It's very handy.
It's nice to have it all in one thing. This is one of the few phones where I've actually just used widgets a lot.
Yeah, I like widgets.
And they actually look nice.
Anyway, we now have, it is obviously the finale. If we could go back to the test card, pretty
Go back to
please.
the test card, yes.
We're now going to start a segment that's we're probably going to have to speed run because I would like to go home. Yeah. But it's the final episode of this season, season 4.
Back to the test card briefly, please.
What episode of it?
There we go.
What episode is it?
It is episode 41 or 42
I can look at it. It is episode 10. No, sorry, episode 9 of season 4. This is the season finale. We're obviously going for an Easter break. You won't see us for 2 weeks. So what we thought we'd do is do a tier list of untitled episodes. Now, for context, I've been on most of them, excluding 1 or 2, I think.
1 or 2, yeah.
Corey, you've been on since season 3.
I've been on since the start of season 3.
Dan, you've
missed
been
a couple.
on barely any interspersed.
Yeah.
So
and now and then.
we've got 3 different perspectives on each episode.
Yeah.
So we're now going to try and rank them. Is your laptop ready to go?
I should be ready to go if you swap back over to
Right, are we able to get Corey's laptop screen up?
There we go.
Perfect. That is really low poly. Anyway,
low poly.
Sorry, low quality. Hopefully that looks better on stream. But what we're essentially going to do is pick an episode at random, and we're just going to decide where it goes in the order.
Yeah.
So I also, for episodes that obviously Corey and Dan might not know too much about, in theory, my laptop is also sending into the gallery, so we can switch to mine and have a brief look at a couple scenes in the episode to see what was going on. So hopefully that works if we need it.
Mm-hmm. So which one should we start with?
I think we should start with... let's start with episode 1, just as kind of a start. You know,
yeah.
Start. So this...
episode
1, sorry, episode
pilot.
0, the pilot. So this was titled, How Did We Stream Fight Night? Are you able to click on it? Does it get bigger if you click on it?
I don't think it does. I think I can just move it.
I see. Okay, well, we're talking about the top left one there. And, yeah, this one was titled...
I actually watched a bit of this the other...
Yeah, this one's titled, How Did We Stream Fight Night? I'm going to open it on my screen. If you guys have my screen available, maybe switch to it, but no stress if not.
Here we are.
Yeah, so this had
I love this old intro.
This had the original intro of Meg opening an audio file. And we had...
A video file.
A video file, yeah. And we had the old intro where it was in VLC, which is kind of cool. But yeah, in this episode, it is literally just me and Reese sitting at a sofa. This was before YSTV Live, predates YSTV Live. We talk about the Hollyland comms and how they work. We didn't even have like NDI or the TV set up. We brought Karen in and plugged.
Yeah, I saw that.
Plugged the Surface straight into it. And I also made quite an in-depth PowerPoint on how we broadcast.
Question.
So I had drawings like this. Oh, come on. You can
Didn't I make this PowerPoint? I remember...
No, I made it.
Is this quite possibly
made a different PowerPoint.
one of the shortest episodes of Untitled?
It was, how long? 24 minutes, so maybe. Because obviously this was just a live show. This was not Untitled. This was not YSTV Live. This was just a live thing we did at a time. I think after the first episode.
The studio looks so different. You had curtains.
It does. We got the drapes, Christmas tree, obviously, because it was December. But yeah, that is the first episode. If we'd like to go back to the...
back to the other laptop.
That's the one. I was trying to think of the word.
So where do we think this...
So
obviously, it started Untitled.
It was the pilot. It wasn't very...
Back to the other laptop,
There was nothing particularly funny about it. It was just a serious episode talking about tech.
Yeah, back to the other laptop.
The
thank you.
audio was not great. My lav was a bit shit.
Mm-hmm. That did catch me off guard when you started talking to the lab.
Yeah, my lav was terrible. So it was the start of how I was doing live shows, and it did kick off. It predated YSTV Live, as I say. So where are we going to put it?
I'm thinking maybe S, but allow us to put other things above it in S, if that makes sense.
I was going to go with B or A.
Oh, okay.
The only thing keeping it up there is that it is the pilot.
Yeah.
I do like the PowerPoint, actually. I like the PowerPoint explainers, but a lot of it was just talking. And
maybe like a mid-A then.
I'd go
I was
mid-A.
going to go A.
Yeah, you go A.
Yeah,
I put it
mid-A.
A then. I was happy with it.
Which one next? Do you want? I'm just gonna do the mouse like this, and
The problem is we can't see the mouse by the looks of things.
oh well, I'll tell you which one it lands on.
Yeah. The problem is we need to make sure the viewers at home know what one we're talking about as well.
Behind the scenes at Summer Ball.
So which one there?
Season 2, episode 7, right?
Where's that?
This one here.
Okay, so
So the Summer Ball episode
season 2, episode what?
7.
Yeah. If you cut to my screen quickly.
This was. Do you mind if I scrub through to my favorite part of this episode?
Do you know what? It probably would have made sense to have this on the same laptop.
So I can just tab to it.
Yeah. Do you want to?
you want me to bring up the
While I do that, do you
While you're on that.
Yeah, while you're on that. So this episode, oh come on, laptop. This episode, we actually decided to shake things up a bit, and if I can find a wide shot, Reese and I, yeah, there we are. Reese and I. Oh, I had a haircut that day. Reese and I decided to sit in the middle with the TV behind us. We had a pride flag at the top of one of the T4s, apparently. And yeah, we didn't have any guests. It was just me and Reese talking tech, essentially, and talking about what had been happening at Summer Ball. Reese did like these episodes. He was a big fan of the ones where it was just me and him, and we talked about things and got each other's opinion. A bit like a podcast, really.
Yeah.
So Reese did like them. We did a few of them, and this was one of them. You can also see there we got Student Group of the Year.
Oh, this one was only 20 minutes.
Love York. Yeah, once again, a lot of the ones where Reese didn't go on for too long. So have you got it up there?
I do. I'm just scrubbing through the...
Have you got the playlist up so it's easy for you to go...
I do have the playlist up.
Right, if we cut back to your laptop, whenever gallery's ready. There we are, perfect.
All right, and I'm just... The reason I want to put this video in S tier, right?
Yeah.
And for one very specific reason, as we'll see quite soon. Not
once we've zoomed off Sam being dead. He is still alive. He's
Sam is
head
still
of
alive.
sport now. That is
my first ever
the
appearance. This is my first ever appearance in an episode of Untitled.mod.
Yes, Corey obviously started helping produce and actually technically didn't.
I look so
produce-
dazed there.
Didn't produce until episode 2, actually, I think. But
Episode 3. I
was
wasn't
it episode 3? Okay, but obviously was involved with Untitled.mov season 3 and produced episode 3, season 3 onwards. But they actually first appeared season 2, episode 7. And
As I made a cameo as a
you
URY
made a cameo
member.
as a URY member in a VT, and there you are wearing a dashing bow tie there.
Thank you.
But yeah, so where does this episode go?
I jokingly said S tier, but I do think...
I mean, a lot of the rest of it was just me and Milling talking once again. But it did have quite a few long VTs from. Actually, no, it was all one. But we had a very long VT from Summer Ball. In fact, I'd say probably about a quarter of the episode was a VT from Summer Ball. So it was interesting footage.
I liked Summer Ball.
Yeah.
I want to go to Summer Ball again.
Well, there's one happening this year, supposedly.
Yeah, apparently.
But so where would you put it? Because I quite like the fact there's a VT in it. I do like VTs. They break up us just talking.
Maybe like low A?
A, Dan?
I can't say I've really watched the episodes. So
Me
I
neither.
wouldn't
I've
know.
watched bits with me in it.
Yeah, okay.
Can't say I watched many
A or
episodes,
B?
actually.
A or B?
I'll put low A. We'll slot stuff in between.
We can move it. If we get anything that's particularly shit, no, like we may shift everything down. Right, let's speed up. What's the next one?
Right. We're still going. Season 2, episode 9. I haven't watched this one.
Season 2, episode 9.
Want me to pull it up?
Yeah, we're still going. I believe this one was a holiday special. So
13 minutes long. God, you were short before I got here.
No, this one was because we had no crew.
Oh, was it outside of term time?
This one was during the summer holidays. I was working for AV, which is why you can see me in uniform with a duct tape over the logo. But yeah, I worked for the AV team at the time, and Reese just didn't go home because they live in Wales, and that's a pain. So I believe we had a vision mixer, or maybe I was vision mixing. I can't remember, one of the two. But I'm pretty sure Reese was sound opping. So... yeah, judging by the fact... oh, no, okay. Unless Reese is vision mixing, I'm not...
I forgot you used to have short hair. It looks so weird.
Yeah.
Whenever you cut your hair, it looks so.
I mean, I'm probably going to cut it when I go home. But yeah, I'm pretty sure Reese is vision mixing and I'm audio. Yeah, okay. Reese is vision mixing. I'm audio mixing. We were the only two in the building, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
So this is an entirely just two-person show.
Okay, so I think for that reason, we can give it a good bit of...
We also... no, there was a third person.
Oh.
Cut to 6 minutes 30.
Jim, just so you know, if we do this much content on every single episode...
Yeah, I'm going to start...
Oh,
this one...
I watched this episode!
Yeah, Liam gave a tour of their Minecraft base in our YSTV Creative World.
Yeah, I remember tuning into this episode just randomly at home on my phone, seeing this with no context, and taking a screenshot and sending it to UOY Slack on what the fuck are YSTV doing?
Yeah, so...
This is one of my first experiences of YSTV Live was this video.
Half of the episode was a Minecraft tour. Because obviously it was the holidays, we had no content. So let's go back to the board and speed things up. I think it's probably B tier because the only content we had was Minecraft. But it was three-man show, which is pretty cool.
All right.
I'm going to choose because it's quicker. We're going to do Chat with Matt Strat, episode 1.
Chat with Matt Strat. I love Matt Strat.
Matt Strat is cool. Episode 1, season 1, episode 4. Now, the thing with this... we might not be able to get it across because it's NDI'd. But once you cut to about, let's say 6 minutes in.
6 minutes.
Is Matt Strat there yet? No. Okay.
No, wait.
Cut to maybe about 10 minutes.
I'm going to cut to 8 minutes when the Matt Strat interview section starts.
Yeah, that's probably wise. Yeah. So what you'll see?
I like this setup. Why don't we do this anymore? This looks nice.
It's the same setup reversed.
But we'll have the T4s. I like the T4s. I want a little T4.
We did have a T4 behind us before. Yeah, we should probably start bringing them on.
T4.
Anyway, if you want to cut ahead a bit more.
Cameron's not wearing glasses. That's weird.
Yeah,
Wait, Cameron's not wearing glasses today. I don't know why.
Anyway, if you want to skip ahead so we can say
Matt Strat.
Right, Matt Strat was coming in at about 5 frames a second. Once they start moving... Yeah, there you are. Look at that frame rate. That is not NDI. They were just really shit frame rate. So that episode, the main point of it was an interview with Matt Strat.
What software were they using to call in?
I don't know. I can't remember.
He looks like a streamer. He looks like he's got like a full-on like.
He does have a streamer setup because he did TV. Remember, but yeah, it was. We had some cool tech that meant we could hear Matt Strat and Matt Strat could hear us. But it was unfortunately ruined by some sort of bit rate issue.
Jamie, is that tech called a microphone?
No, it was sound
microphone and headphones.
But yeah, it was just the routing that was cool. I found it cool. Anyway, I think the episode should probably go C. It was a cool idea, but it did shit the bed, unfortunately.
All right. The USB standards run.
USB standards, I think S tier.
S tier.
That is some of the best content we've ever had.
It's a thing that gets like linked in YSTV's Slack correctly. I think that's USB standards run is part
it is
of the
marked saying how shit the USB naming standards is. Would recommend season 1, episode 1. I'm pretty sure it's still true to this day. Have you put it in S tier? Yeah, you have. Next up.
60 live streams one weekend. Roses 2023.
Roses 20. What episode's that?
That is. Season 2, episode 1.
Season 2, episode 1. So this was just after Roses. This was our second season, obviously. At the start of the episode, do you want to tab over to it?
Let's tab over.
At the very start of the episode, I announced Longboy's death.
No.
And you're wearing a suit.
And I'm wearing a suit, which I wore specifically.
Oh, yes, I remember like hearing about you announcing this.
There I am, announcing Longboy's death.
Very sad.
Long beard as well.
Yeah, I did grow my beard out at one point.
I was like, my only contribution the only YSTV Roses 2023 thing I ever appeared in was the Roses 2023 vlog.
Yes,
I only appeared for about 5 seconds, passed out on a table.
Also, just quickly with this episode.
No, it was a video.
Oh.
They took a video and I was just passed out.
Skip to 150? I do remember that bit. Yeah, another thing with this episode is we had guests. Alumni. These two are both alumni. That is Max Roach, ex-production director. We also had Meg Maguire, who was ex-station director. So, yeah, I had 2 alumni on that show, both non-techies. So that was a very inclusive episode.
They weren't alumni at the time.
They obviously weren't alumni at the time, but they are alumni now, is my point. Overall, we talked about Roses. I think we may have played the vlog. No, it was just chatting with the 2 of them.
I didn't mean to put that in C. I just meant to, shift it up.
Yeah, overall,
That's some delay.
it's basically just a talking episode.
Yeah.
I personally, Roses was cool, but I'd probably put it.
I'd put it lower.
Hey, I'd go C because
Really?
it was
I think
just.
maybe high C because there's nothing wrong with it. It's just a bland.
There's
episode.
nothing. Yeah, that's what I would
That's the
consider
point,
C.
yeah.
C is where I put bland.
Okay. We hacked YSTV with TechSock.
That was a really fun
yeah.
episode to do. I might
that.
put that S tier. The content.
not
No,
watched
actually, content was quite decent because we had John Cherry in it.
He'll come up later.
Yeah, and we did speak about TechSock things, and it was funny because we pretended to hack into YSTV, and we got to do an OB. I do love an OB.
Do love an OB.
And yeah, we got to collaborate with TechSock. We talked to thing. We made some set decoration. I would probably go S.
S.
Have you managed to get it up?
Just
Just so we can see the thumbnail in big screen.
where is it? What's
I think it was season 2.
season 2?
Oh, yes. Cameron has just come into the room to say that that episode is also where we get the current glitch intro from. Milling edited that because we were pretending to hack into the ident.
There we go. Season 1, episode 5.
Yeah, so if you just skip to halfway through so we can see the set. So this is where our intro comes from. So there is an important part of this episode. It gives us our current intro. So if you cut ahead, that's
I
our
like
set.
this.
It was really cool. We had the
Are
monitor
you
with
green
hacker
screened
tech.
in?
No, I look green screened. It's because of the lighting.
Okay.
I'm not green screened in, I promise. But yeah, so I'm going to go S tier.
All right, sure. I think
Yeah,
I'm
S
gonna
tier
put
as well,
below
'cause
the
it was an
USB
OB.
round.
Yeah, I just going to leave all the tiers the same. Next, should we go for Time to Vonk Jamie? Just because I can see it. Episode 3. Sorry, season 3. I keep getting them wrong around.
Season 3. I
Season
was here
3,
for this one.
episode 7. So this is Corey was in this one.
I was in this one. Which one? Season 2?
Time to Vonk Jamie, season 3, episode 7.
Oh, that's the one where we were just playing Overcooked for the whole thing. 'cause
Yeah,
games
this one was we just done a live game night and we wanted to carry on playing Overcooked, so we did. And most of the content in the episode is us playing Overcooked.
Yeah.
I don't think we actually discussed much.
I feel like putting this one in D tier.
Yeah, maybe.
We didn't care about making an episode of Entitled.
It was kind of a shit post. I mean, I love the shit post episodes.
Yeah.
Some of them could be fun. That one was just a case of we were all fed up and we were just playing video games, and I don't think there was any content.
Yeah.
Even watching the game, because we were talking over it, I don't think much was going on. Maybe D.
Yeah,
I'd put it D just because we need to have some as D.
We have some as D.
Yeah.
We need some D.
Right, let's go. What's that?
Sorry, I was going to laugh until Dad gave me that look when I said that.
Right, let's go Chekhov's microphone.
Chekhov's microphone.
That is a recent episode. Season
was.
4, episode 7.
That was potentially the first one not featuring you.
It was potentially the first one.
That was me.
Unless you count the test card, which people don't, and I don't.
That was me, Sturkey, Neve, and Ronnie from UOI, good friend of mine, who, the reason it's called Chekhov's microphone is we made a joke about the fact that we'd ran 3 mics, because I was expecting 3 guests, but somehow there was a mix-up where Ronnie was in the studio, I was expecting queued in, but I wasn't told that I was supposed to queue him in. So I was confused as to why he wasn't here, until he just sort of gets pushed in at the end, and plonked on the sofa. And we make a joke about that's the reason why there was a microphone there. It's Chekhov's mic, like Chekhov.
Yeah. So that was a funny little joke.
Funny little joke, but otherwise it was just.
Also,
kind of
the site. The point.
Oh yes, I was about to put this like a bland milk toast episode, and I forgot. The end of this episode, as I'm sort of going out, doing the because we were going to end right on the end of like on time, right? Around the second, Marcus was going to kill stream. And Neve reminds me as I'm doing the Twitter plug, oh yeah, videos are back on the website. I just look straight at the camera and go, oh yeah, videos are back on the website, bye, and it cuts. And it is the best ending to an episode of Entitled I think we've had in a while.
It is pretty good. Also, the point about it being the first one I don't appear on is my likeness appears in every episode. In some form, whether that's a picture, whether that's a VT, whether I'm actually in the episode. On every episode until that one, where there is no likeness apart from me on the test card, which I don't count. So that was the first one, and now that has hit, I'm free. I never have to be on a bloody episode again.
You're finally willing to give up.
Yeah, finally don't have to come on. But yeah, that is the context of that episode. One I wasn't on, and the beautiful ending. Other than that, fairly average, but...
So that's reminding me when people like miss their workout goal for like one. You know, when people are like, "Oh, I'll burn this many calories each day," and then they miss that goal for like one day and go, "Well, what's the point anymore?"
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I've got. Yeah. So I'd go.
I'm thinking.
I'd go C for the ending. But
C.
Okay, maybe B.
B.
I mean
A for the ending.
The ending's only part of it, though. The whole episode.
We also got Sturkey back.
We did have Sturkey in that. That's a very valid point. I do like.
I'll put it in B.
We'll leave it in B. We can always adjust.
Yeah. Season 3, episode 4, No Signal. What was that one about? Was that just a very standard, bland episode of Entitled? Do you want to look it up? Let's look it up.
Yeah. You've got the laptop there, boss man.
Season 3, No Signal.
No Signal. What was the... it's me at the table and you on the sofa, so we hadn't quite switched over there.
I think it is...
It's so our producer Cameron...
Not that exciting.
Well, not producer. Our production director Cameron has just informed us that the No Signal was talking about our point-to-point testing, which was shit.
Yeah, it was just this kind of standard episode of Entitled.
Standard, not much going on. I would probably just go maybe...
B tier?
B, D, D, we were going to put like kind of not interesting things. So maybe B.
I think B.
Yeah.
I think C is stuff that doesn't quite hit the mark.
Yeah.
And B is just sort of standard.
I mean,
episodes.
we just to be like kind to Rose's 2023 one. I haven't watched the episode. We don't actually know what we're talking about. I just skipped through it and saw it was all.
I thought you were going to say to move it to B. Keep it in C.
Yeah, I mean, C just because it looked boring. I haven't actually heard it. It may have been an interesting chat, but
all right.
We don't have time to check.
Do we want to can we do just sort of speed round, get through season 1 and 2?
Yeah, okay, right. Okay. Let's go.
Meet our new streaming kit.
Meet our new streaming kit. I was in the cupboard talking about OB5. I believe they talked to Apple in the main room. It had Erin and Cameron as guests.
Okay.
The sound was a bit interesting, but we did have a different location that made it a bit more interesting. I'd go B, probably.
B tier?
I thought it was supposed to be quickfire.
Next up was Season 1, Episode 3. How does streaming work?
Restreaming work.
Sorry?
How does restreaming work?
Restreaming?
Is that what it says?
I thought... no, it's how does live streaming work?
Oh, live streaming. Okay,
1-3. We had Michael Grace from URY on.
That's interesting.
We had Reese and we had Liam. And we talked...
I thought that was a woman in the thumbnail.
No, that is Michael Grace.
Michael Grace.
Liam did a slideshow of what we have in our server rack and how they work. We also had the VT of the Tale of the Rattly ATEM, which is funny.
I said quickfire, so
we announced Untitled.org, and that is the first half of the Returning the TV, which is very important.
Okay,
so,
A tier?
A tier.
A tier.
That actually had good content.
Season 1, Episode 6, Get Involved in Tech.
Get Involved in Tech. That was a chat with Beth. Not a lot happened off the top of my head. That was just Beth saying, get involved with the team. But we love to have Beth on. She talked about tech bodges. That's probably it. It was all an interview. I'd probably go B. Oh, Dan. There was a VT from Dan returning a parcel.
Oh, yeah.
B.
CF Express card or something.
Yeah. Next up, Episode 1, Series 7.
From the Gantry.
That is from the Gantry. What's the episode name?
We
didn't plan this show. We didn't. That is a beautiful episode. It features John Cherry. S tier.
I watch about this live. S tier.
From the Gantry and Central.
It's beautiful. It's the best. I watch it all the time.
Meet our new cameras.
Series 1, Episode 8. This one had Phantom Power in it. And we showed off the lights on our new cameras, which went poorly. And we also showed off the night vision mode they have. We were also outside, and at the end, the blinds opened and gallery waved, which is kind of cool. I'd put that maybe A or B.
A tier.
All right, A tier it is. It had a different thing in it, so yeah, we'll go A tier.
Yeah.
Next up is Season 1, Episode 9.
What's wrong with social media?
This was just basically talking about social media for half an hour. It was 24 minutes long, quite short, not a lot happened. It did, however, have Sturkey on it. And I appeared in a VT on this one. I wasn't actually in the studio. I can't remember. Oh, the VT was me collecting a parcel. Oh, the
Very
VT was us getting some AA batteries. Oh shit, plug it in. We got some AA batteries. That was the VT. That was content. But it didn't break the episode up. I'd go B tier.
B tier?
C tier. I would say C.
Dan's going C tier. Why are you going C tier, Dan?
It's just not exciting, is it?
I'm happy to put in C tier.
They did have some cool lights. maybe C tier. We'll go. Oh, we also had Meg Maguire and Will Sturk on as well. So 2 people that are no longer with us.
We built our studio in Minecraft.
Did you put that in C tier? Yeah, we built our studio in Minecraft. This one we basically did a episode from within Minecraft. The thumbnail is like a cut between the Minecraft world and the real world. Cool chat. Marks was on it and I was on it as guest, and we gave another Minecraft tour. 50% of the episode is Minecraft again, so it could probably go with the last Minecraft one.
Where did we put the last Minecraft one?
I can't remember which one the last Minecraft one was.
No.
It wasn't D, was it? No.
Did we not vote?
Put it A.
A.
Fuck it. I think it was.
Fuck it. We A.
I quite liked it. It showed off the studio and wasn't boring.
Oh no, We're Still Going. That was the last Minecraft.
Where's Will Still Going? Where did we put that?
We put it in B. I'll put it next to.
Okay, yeah, put it in B.
Season 2, episode 2, The End of an Era.
The End of an Era. That
seems to have John Cherry in it.
Yeah. Oh yes, this was before our new committee got elected in. This was while Beth was still technical director, and Liam was still computing director, and I was still head of presentation. And it also had John Cherry in it, which is, puts it up there.
A tier?
So, this one had a different setup, 2 tables, and it was kind of it was a bit like a podcast. I actually remember it being quite an interesting chat. We also had the first gallery cam, which meant we got to wave at Marks. Max was also tied up on the floor in every shot and was doing something hostage related. So I think there was content in that one. I'd go A.
Yeah, I think A is the good ones, but S is those episodes.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
What I mean?
S is the ones you send to your family.
I haven't sent any of them to my family.
No, me neither.
Hi, Dad.
Season 2, episode 3, Meet the New
Team.
Tech Team. This one just had interviews with the new tech team.
B tier?
And I was interviewed as well. I would probably go C. It was a fairly mid episode.
Okay.
We didn't actually do too much.
C tier. We bought a website.
Yeah, that was the start of un.titled.mov. I'm not actually sure if much else happened.
Doesn't work anymore.
It featured no. Oh, does it not? Did we lose the domain?
No, we still got it. It just
doesn't
work.
redirect. This we had codec of the week as H265. Milling went on a codec rant. This was around when I called them a nerd for it. So that's come around. Erin was also on, and we talked about the X32 producer and Adobe, and that's about it. So fairly mid episode. I'd probably go C or B. What do you reckon, Dan?
No idea.
C.
I'd go C.
We crashed Premiere 8
S.
times. I watched this.
Oh yeah.
I'd
I
immediately
watched
go
the
S.
VT, but I loved this VT.
The VTs make some of these episodes, and the VT made that episode. So that is S tier. Next up is Apple Did What? This is the first time we heard about the Vision Pro. We obviously had Cameron, our Apple correspondent, on with Marks as well, and Reese, and they kind of did. They talked about the Apple event. For some reason, Milling decided to be on a chair instead of a stool, so it was very underneath the desk.
Oh yeah, he does look very low down. Doesn't he? Milling is very.
Yeah.
Hello and welcome to Untitled.mov.
I was on the episode. I just can't remember how I was on the episode.
Did you call in?
No, maybe I wasn't on this one. Oh, I was in a VT. There's a VT of me doing something or other. I don't actually know what we're doing. Dan's in here. Oh, it is behind the scenes of everything. Keep talking, nobody explodes. So it has a behind the scenes, and it's an Apple event. This was a very informative one, and I think the chaps did very good to make it interesting. I'd probably put it B.
B tier?
B or A. It was just an informative episode. No, like funny business, but good to watch.
Season 2, episode 8.
Season 2, episode.
Upload complete. You got everyone on.
Complete. This was. We got everyone on at the end of the episode. This was meant to be the season finale, but obviously we then did one in the summer, which was the episode we've already done. But yeah, Milling's kind of just chilling on the sofas with me. We were both on a sofa. We talked about the fight night between Musk and Zuckerberg, and then we got all of the gallery on, and we did Standard of the Week, show and tell with all of the gallery on. We talked about Computing Social, we talked about 1350 Turnoff, we made Octavia Computing Social Secretary live on television, which then got here. And then this is the key part of this. Untitled.mov was officially handed over to me in the form of Cybernuke's door. Cybernuke's door was officially handed over to me by Reese Milling as handing over Untitled.mov. And then we all posed for a thumbnail, and that was the end.
That sounds nice.
I'd personally give it an A.
A tier, high A.
Just because we had loads of energy from the gallery coming on. Obviously, it was a handover, a send-off of Milling, if we ignore the summer one. And yeah, it's end of an era. It's probably got the wrong title because another one has that. But yeah, end of an era, that one. And it had John Cherry in it.
Okay, we can slow down because we've hit season 3. The one
Okay, cool.
No, we're moving on. Speed run the rest of the show.
Oh,
Yeah, I want to go home.
These are the important ones.
I've actually lost my tab that had on time on, so I can't add more time.
Anyway, so
No.
season 3, episode 1.
Open source baby.
Yeah.
What did we talk? This is where we stopped having thumbnails on the actual YouTube channel.
Yeah,
Which
but now
is
we have...
unideal, but we do have them here, so I can upload them at some point.
Yeah, so this was my first
So this was
proper
your
appearance.
first proper. You were down as a guest. I was.
Dan's
hosting
going
the show
home.
for the first
Bye,
time.
Dan.
Bye, Dan.
Bye, Dan.
Dan, could you fade? Oh no, Cameron's here. Don't fade it down.
Hello.
Cameron, you're now.
Hi,
down.
Cameron.
This one was just a fairly chatty episode. It did also have. Oh, this was when I tried to use Caden Live to play out
Yes,
the VT,
I remember
and it went
that.
really shitly.
Yeah, you had your director's commentary for Plant Sale, and we had the Working Class Liberation VT,
We also
which
had the
was
working
an
class.
excellent one.
I'd probably the working class liberation makes me want to put it in B. Everything else about the episode wants C. So
I'd go
I'd
B,
go
if
B.
not A.
B.
I think B.
B works.
Just and because it introduces Corey, so yeah,
Yeah,
B.
exactly.
Right. Drop table episode plan season 3 episode 2.
Again, this had a fun VT with the Jamie Lance
This
thing.
was the phase where we had lots of VTs of me doing stupid things, and that was good fun. We also had Beth, Liam, and Santiana on. The Santiana, that was very funny because that led to some Beth's mum's things. So I'd put it in A.
And also, since I wasn't a constant member of Untitled yet, I wasn't in this episode.
No, you weren't.
No, I was just a guest the week before.
It also had the final render of the director's commentary that was at about 1 bit a second. So yeah, I'd put it A probably.
A, I put A. So, why Stevie breaks the internet?
Yeah.
This one I quite like, just for the gag at the end where we pan up, we have the internet, and we pull the cable in.
Yes, that one had
do
a
like
gag, and I liked the gag.
I think that puts it up in A.
I'd put
think
it
A.
in A.
I think it's a
reckon
solid A.
Also, the start, they had me live in the middle of the test
Yes.
card. They framed it perfect.
Oh, yeah, that was great.
And it
I
also had a
remember-
VT of me on a trolley. I remember that.
All right. Next one up.
No signal again.
This is
No.
no, we've
Oh,
done
no, we've
that.
already had no
happenings.
signal.
This
Spooky
is where we
happenings.
started to go off the rails.
This
a
is
little
what
bit.
we have described as the moment Untitled.mov jumped the shark.
Yes, this is
This-
S tier. I'd just like to put
This
that
is,
out
oh, yeah,
there.
it's S tier.
Yeah.
This
This
is
is-
where I die.
We have
the
described...
first of many times.
Yeah.
We were trying to figure out when Untitled.mov jumped the shark, as it were. We decided it's the moment we put Corey in the green morph suit.
Yeah, can you quickly tab over? I know we're trying to do this quickly.
Okay, yeah, we
But, we have to see.
We've
to
talked
relive
for a long
this.
time about doing an episode with kind of big virtual sets, and then one day we just thought, screw it, let's just put up the green
Yeah,
screen,
so
and
you can
it'll
see
be good
me
enough.
in the Minecraft studio. Then if you skip along to when you come on.
Oh, I've got to get all of it. Okay, I'm
Yeah,
already on.
here you are.
Yeah, my laptop is very clearly in front of you for this entire thing. I do like. That's
yeah.
me in the corner.
Also, Ash's debut on the show.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, Ash's
first time-
debut.
Yeah.
No,
first time.
they were
Other
in
than
the
the VT.
Other than VT.
Yeah, on the actual show, first time. Then this is Corey coming on in a sheet.
Yeah.
This was very funny. This entire episode. This was really good fun to do.
Yeah, we had you with a mic on the floor as like the voice of God.
We did. It was very amusing. And then we take you down. You were wearing a green morph suit. So it works beautifully. And you had your long hair at the time.
I
Wait,
thought
you still
we
got
did
the long
that.
hair. Yeah, actually, that's a good point. But it was more apparent.
I didn't notice my ponytail was just popping out.
Yeah, it was more apparent because of the green morph suit. And then we had the floating head for the
Floating
rest
head
of the
Corey.
episode. It was beautiful.
And then the slides were just behind you.
yeah,
Yeah.
the slides. Yeah,
was
InVision
a lot of
Monitor
fun.
was great.
Yeah, that's S.
S tier obviously has to be. We've
the-
done Time to Funk Jamie, haven't we?
Yeah, season 3, episode 6. Dan.
Oh, sorry, I skipped
Dan
Dan.
nailed emoji, hearts emoji.
Dan nails emoji heart.
I can't remember the
Which
context.
the thumbnail as we have here is just Miles looking really confused because
Yeah.
Miles was on that episode
Yeah,
too.
That was another
it
really
was-
good ending when we just.
Was that
like,
Miles' debut on
Yes,
the
I think
title?
so.
Miles'
That was when
debut.
Miles' debut.
Beth came in and turned the camera upside down. We
Yeah.
brought
Oh,
the
yeah,
laptop
Beth
and
Beth
saw-
came in and went on
We
a
were
bit of a
cutting
rampage.
between cameras at about 7 cuts a second.
I think
Yeah.
high A tier.
This was beautiful
Yeah,
camera work. We
I
had a
would
load
agree.
of zoom shots.
And Dan's first time on as a guest, other than when everyone came on.
Yeah,
generally.
so we had Dan, Miles, and Corey on as guests. Well, I think Corey, you were kind of co-presenting by that
Yeah.
point. So yeah, I'd probably go A tier.
Solid A tier. So, Season 3, episode 6, Apple SRAs and Linux Audio.
Sorry, season 3, episode 6.
Yes,
I think
that's
episode 8.
Oh, episode 8. Apple SRAs.
This is when we brought in another guest on one at a time.
Yeah.
To talk about
we did the sort
different
of the
news
Graham
stories.
Norton
Yeah,
show.
you and me were both behind Tom Lee at this point, so we were hosting.
Oh, yeah, we were
together.
both. We've never done that since, have
No,
we?
we haven't. Well, it's quite comfortable on this sofa, and you're hosting the show. I'm just here.
Okay, sure.
Cameron was brought on to talk about Apple.
Something to do with Apple.
Then we brought on, who was the next person? Oh, we also had a VT about my new sound.
Hello, Beth.
Finished. Amazing. I know.
There's
Beth,
a lot
come
of
on.
episodes.
Beth, come on.
Beth, want to come on the show?
I regret suggesting.
Okay, Beth's getting.
Have fun.
I regret-
Beth's
Beth
here.
just came
suggesting
back
this
from
tier
Battle of the
list.
Bands.
Yeah, we probably should have had an episode where we weren't doing other things. Yeah, then we had a VT of me crying about Linux Audio that actually happened to be a 1/4-inch adapter. I found that one quite fun.
Beta.
Maybe
I think I
maybe
would say
8 tier, just because we had a lot of content.
We did have a lot of content. I think.
Should be on the table. Miles will help.
Mine might be in my bag if I need to grab it for you.
Next up is
Art.
Art, okay,
S tier.
S tier.
We had John Cherry call in on that one.
We had like 5 different video streams going out.
Yeah.
It was art. There
Next
is
up
nothing more to
was
say.
1 Year of Chaos, season
did that
3,
from the
episode
gantry
10.
during
From
Fight
the
Night?
gantry again with a lot less. Oh, good.
Cool.
The shoulder was
great.
fucked, apparently. Yeah, this was,
Someone tell the tech director about that.
this was using my laptop's webcam this
Yeah.
episode, and
Yeah.
it's shit in general, but it's funny as fuck. So I'd probably go maybe B or C.
I think a good beat.
I think it B.
Yeah.
I think just the funniness of it pushes it to B. I think we also had a VT if I remember correctly.
Beeper,
It had
Hardly Noah.
Beth, Alex, and me in it, as well as whoever else was in the gantry. Next up, Beeper, Hardly Noah.
This one was funny because in the lead up to this, there was the whole Beeper Chronicle, and me and Cameron wanted to test Beeper live on air to see if I could send an iMessage to Cameron. The only problem is Beeper started being closed down and opened up and working and not working
night.
every day, or pretty much like hour by hour up until we felt we weren't able to test
another
it.
key point is Radford was on this episode.
Yeah, this was
Radford came back. We also
where-
had Beth on as well.
Oh yeah,
Three
we
of us
did.
kind of went
Oh
on
yeah,
a
we
long
had Bradford.
tangent about student TV and what it should be.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a really fun episode.
And then we also had
actually.
Miles on. Miles came back on as well. So overall, the beeper, it started the whole beeper meme, which isn't funny. But overall, just like a fairly average episode, I would say.
I was going to put this A tier. I think it was a really
Yeah, I
fun
think
one.
so.
Yeah, it's something I would watch again. So yeah, 8 tier.
Our studio's video routing.
Yes,
I was falling asleep on the sofa during this
We
one.
did reverse clickbait.
Yeah.
Because the main thing was us buy generating at the start.
Oh yeah, that's the buy. I forgot about the buy generator.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
that's-
because we did not mention it in the title, which is very funny. So it's just like
I
a
think this was the
surprise.
first time we gave you a countdown timer. Alan
Yeah,
came on the
first
show.
time we were told to hurry the fuck up.
But it
think
was
A
mostly
tier.
actually
It was a
about
30-minute
video routing.
episode, though. But it was mostly about me explaining how our video routing works, but there was the buy generation and me getting shot at the start as well. So, yeah, I'd probably give it... I mean, it's informational, which we do like in the odd episode, so maybe
I think A tier. was what I
A
was
tier
thinking.
because of the start as well, yeah.
Yeah, I think just because of the buy generation and then
Yeah. It adds to the lore. What's
Okay,
next?
on to this
nerds
season.
and losers.
Yes, this is the first episode of this current season.
Oh yeah, season 4, episode 1.
what was-
I was on the sofa again.
was the
It was
context?
the same guest as this one. The three of us plus Dan.
Oh,
What was the guess?
We are the nerds and losers.
What were we talking about?
We now have Wikipedia entries for these episodes, which is quite helpful. I think it was a very standard. first
Wikipedia or
episode
just
back.
Wiki?
Wiki.
Yeah.
I'm tired. Okay.
What,
yeah, it does seem to be a very standard.
it's a stand. Oh, we had a table. That's
we had a
nice.
table and I put my feet on it.
Yeah, it seems to be a fairly standard talking about computers. It looks interesting though.
Yeah,
Maybe
B or C?
B tier.
B. Yeah, I'd go B.
B
Put
tier.
too many in A.
The backwards episode.
Yes.
I think A tier. I think high
I
A
think-
tier.
2004 vom.deltitnu.
Yeah, I like this one.
Why'd
We did
you
the entire
not?
thing backwards. The only thing that stops me putting it in S is the fact that it was just a standard episode.
It was
rather
just a
than
standard
backwards.
episode.
Oh, but I think that's kind of what worked about it in this case. I don't know. I'd say probably S.
You'd go S.
It also kind of kicked off a run of really strong kind of.
That's true. Yeah. You say that 2 episodes later we didn't do an episode.
Yeah.
But I was
okay.
going to lean towards the top end of A, but I'm happy
Yeah.
to do S.
I'm probably go A.
yeah.
Yeah. Walk and talk. I think
Also,
S.
The thing I like about that one is how it was inspired by what had happened that evening and just came together. It was kind of prime Untitled shtick.
And
then the fact that I then did Backwards Prod meeting the week after.
Oh, you did
that's true.
Yes,
But that's
it
not
led
the
to a
episode,
Backwards Prod
yeah.
meeting.
Maybe we up it to S for like impact.
I'm going to go for S just because
Okay.
we have a lot in A. So let's move that to S.
S tier.
And then
Walk and Talk.
Walk and Talk.
I was going to put S on Walk.
Surprisingly interesting.
I'd go A on this.
I'd probably go A.
Really?
Yeah, just
I
because
was
it's a
thinking this
long
is like-
episode and not everyone's cup of tea.
I will say,
But it is
Taurus did
interesting.
VT.
It
was
that
Slough.
in it?
Slough was in it.
Slough was in this episode.
We were after the previous week. We were just kind of sitting around trying to think of ideas, and
This
we
was
went,
also-
"Let's just go for
Wait,
a walk."
Slough was in
Yes.
Walk and Talk.
But
Yeah,
Jamie,
remember we came back in.
you got to also consider this was pretty much when I met Sturkey.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I had not met Sturkey.
It was also a full hour long.
Yeah, you only just met Sturkey and you went on a walk for an hour long.
We
with
walked
them.
all the way to East.
Yeah.
I
I'd
go
go-
high A.
I'd go very high A.
Yeah, I think top.
Although it did have the Slough VT, which is prime content.
I've lost it. Okay, there it is.
The thing is, I wouldn't consider it one of those episodes that you think of. But it
I
is
think
really
of that one as the
good.
one I did.
I think
it's one I remember.
it might just be because I wasn't involved. I don't
That's
think
true.
as much. So there is my bias. But I don't know.
See, okay, the next one.
Yeah,
Techie's not
This is
found.
an interesting one.
There's a case to be made for S or D.
I think so too. Yeah.
I don't know.
Can we
Or
duplicate and put
is
it
it
in
mid?
both?
I mean, I think maybe C.
I reckon C. It's not entertaining in the slightest. but
So it was the day after show swap. Everyone was extremely tired, and after spending 15 minutes throwing around different ideas of, we'll have Jamie not here, but we can hear him, or we'll have someone in a morph suit and a transparent PNG texter. We just went, let's do a live stream of an empty studio and go to Courtyard.
Yeah, we just went Courtyard V8. It did have a
And
VT
I can't
from
blame
Corey,
you because I worked
so it
very
wasn't
hard the day
completely
before.
empty. But by the time we got to the VT, everyone would have tuned out because no one
Yeah,
was there.
so no one's still, and which is really sad because I did a really good transition in that VT, and I'm really proud of it. It was really funny.
Oh well, we'll live.
We'll
But
live.
Yeah, that I'd probably put C.
Yeah. Hold the phone.
Hold the
What
phone.
are we doing? Hold the phone.
It was kind of back to normal. That was the one where they put the notepad up. They refused to fix the TV.
Oh yeah, this was just kind of us trying to
We
return.
talked a lot about Sora.
Yeah,
That was
we
you two
tried
and
to.
Dad.
return-
Oh, that was the Sora one.
We had a load of episodes back to back that were unhinged. This was where we tried to return to form.
I think
just so
B
we-
tier.
Yeah, so probably
Yeah.
B tier.
Yeah. Make Boss Man the boss, man.
That.
See, it was just you kind of talking through the manifesto. We didn't have the VTs yet. of
No,
you
we didn't.
campaign.
It was Liam was on as
Liam
well
was
talking
back.
about
That
things.
was nice.
Maybe A or maybe B. Oh, this was when my illness started.
Oh,
So I was asleep on the.
well, we've got to move it down for that.
Yeah, I wasn't actually that clocked in. I don't think.
Low B.
Yeah,
Lovely.
I'd also just come from a Tech Sock event.
The show must go on. I wasn't here for this one.
Okay. I mean, I would
the
say
fact
high
the
A.
code was not working until the. I don't know because I feel like it is one of those episodes. But
I
actually,
really liked last
maybe
week.
not though because one of those episodes usually implies something you can see where you can't actually see the automatic.
Bear in mind, it did also have your 6DSM and your CIN as VTs.
It did. I'm thinking A.
I think
yeah.
high,
It was
very
also-
high
I
A.
think high A.
Like top of A, but I.
Yeah, because it was just a normal episode that happened to have a gimmick in the background.
And finally, thank God.
So, well, I've just
oh, no.
checked, and one thing I want to make as a point towards this episode, as this is what we could possibly count as the first feature-length episode of Untitled.mov. We are at an hour and a half.
That's not a good thing.
I'm so sorry, Gallery. I tried to speedrun it. We got distracted.
I think they find.
We're literally gonna spend about 30 seconds on each thing after this. There's only 2 more.
more.
Right. Anyway, that's
So,
the tier list.
I think.
Screenshot it.
Can we give this S tier?
Oh yeah, I forgot about this
I'm
episode.
going to miss the last bus.
Oh, sorry, Cameron.
Sorry, camera.
Just put it S tier.
S tier.
Right. Can we have all of Gallery come in front of the cameras? That's
Hi,
everyone. With that, I was going to do this at the end, but oh, hi Beth.
Oh, I've
Miles, come on. Is there anyone in the gallery?
Anyone else here?
It's
Hi,
very
Beth.
possible they've all gone home.
Hi, Mark.
Okay,
Hi,
everyone come
Neve,
in.
you stayed.
Now, Neve, what are you still doing here?
Why are
Everyone-
you still here?
come-
No offense.
Stand behind
And
it.
Thanks for saying. But oh
this
my
is
God.
everyone that was here because we've been droning on for so long. Yeah, no,
Beth
you've
showed
just
up.
come from
Beth was at a different event.
I like
and
to point out the difference between the amount of people currently here and the amount of people in the episode where we last did it. I think it was season 2, episode 9 or something.
Episode 8.
Episode
right there.
8. Yeah, there's a lot more people in that one because we started accepting that people don't have to stay for this shit. But anyway, let's quickly...
It was a very good choice.
Let's quickly speed run the rest. Future stuff. ERN is tomorrow. Watch on Wise TV Live. I was going to explain the tech, but we usually do that after. You are tech leading it. How's tech going? You've got to prep it after this.
No, I don't.
Well, you do.
I'm delegating that to you.
No. I prepped stuff last night. Future stuff. Fight night Saturday. I'm going home. Are you going?
Yeah, I'm going.
Are you going?
I'm going.
Cool. Are you going?
I'm going.
There we are. Cool. Next up, follow our Twitter. URY1350. Go on,
Yeah.
YSTV.
That's also the only
one.
Okay. I forgot one important key thing.
What?
We need to play the credits. You've got it.
Well done, Max.
Right. Play the credits.